Well, I am pleased to announce that it's finally happened. That's right. The Personacalypse is nigh.
Wow.
That's it?
I know what it is from what you told me.
Yeah, I know. Like, yes, I know we talked about it before. Like, you know what showmanship is, right?
Persona Rock. That's what I said before, and you didn't even get it because it was that bad. God.
You know, well, whatever. We'll just let people be surprised when it happens.
This is not the start you were looking for the Personacalypse. We're really fumbling.
No, this is actually the exact start that I was hoping for the Personacalypse 80 episodes into Persona. This is exactly what I wanted to have happen.
I did not want
get more famous.
Any of this to happen, but we're here.
Too bad we're here.
Yep.
Yeah, I do like that. There was no. Yeah, it's just like, I'm going to help you out as best I can, and your answer was not to help other people, to like save the world. It was to be more famous or get your own room. It's like it really just shows you the priority of everybody. Also, yeah, we're just we're just once again locking in the fact that Morgana is now subservient to me, and he's gonna have to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. I like the cat. The cat.
He will find joy in his. He will find joy in his duty to serve the main character.
Mm-hmm. Wow, he's down bad.
Well, he's always been down bad.
Yeah.
That's his entire. I mean, no, it's not his entire character. That's not true.
We weren't thinking about
it's not
how
like
sappy
Ryuji
all
dropping
of this
gerunds.
is. We were thinking about how horny all of this is, Morgana. You damn.
Oh, I was actually thinking about how sad all of this is.
Oh, it was pretty pathetic. Yeah.
Oh, it's all terrible. Morgana's really just like, maybe beating on Mishima is one of the most, like, I feel bad for this character.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard. And it's just like, it almost felt, but unlike Mishima, who is actually very competent, Morgana did get, like, kicked to the curb 3 times when he left the Phantom Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
One, he just crashed on his own. That wasn't even somebody else's doing.
Uh-huh. I do.
By the way, speaking of that,
oh.
we are going to see Haru's fiance again.
We are? Okay.
Like,
cool.
Are we?
Are we? Wait, really? Are you implying that we're not?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I don't know. He's not appearing anywhere. I played a little bit ahead of this, and it's just like he doesn't appear again.
That's so weird. Like, you'd think you've established his character, even just like an unnamed character, but still, like, not completely arbitrary either, right? Like, you can't just not.
Maybe they're gonna. Maybe the idea is supposed to be that they're gonna build up to him being the Black Mask guy.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Oh,
because it can't be Goro, because Goro is a hero.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So he can't do that sort of thing. He was probably just like scouting for the villains, and that's all. And that's about the most they're gonna get him.
Possibly. I don't know.
Oh, he must be a criminal, Igor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good for you. Oh.
These sections suck so bad.
I mean, it's like, yeah, no shit, dude. We just saw that guy get murdered. Are you? Well, let me tell you about this game called Persona 5, where nothing happens without you being very well aware of what's going to go on. Is that going to happen also in this episode? Well, I hate to say it, but yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Morgana even dreams of being a cat. Oh.
Or a shadow. I mean, that's the yellow eyes.
Yeah.
The yellow eyes are like they're the mark of Nyarlathotep from the first Persona game.
Oh, okay.
One of the very few carryovers from the OG series before Persona 3 kind of rebooted the entire thing.
Okay, yeah, and of course that's a Lovecraftian deity.
Yes,
that is tall and charismatic.
In Persona, think of him as evil guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, the original Persona games were not Well, they're about as complicated as this game. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't played Persona 2 though. Innocent Sin or Eternal Punishment. So, there are 2 Persona 2s.
All right.
That's not the full name of it. That would be actually in line with the rest of the series, like Raido Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army. Devil Summoner, Raido Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army. I own that game, you know?
This is so dumb. Like, this is like the worst teacher ever. Like,
yeah. Hey, you kids got your whole life figured out by the second year of high school, right?
Yeah, it's like, I can't even tell, like, it would make sense as sarcasm, but, I mean, well,
yeah, I know.
Like,
when I saw that, I was also like rolling my eyes so hard that I hurt myself.
like, is that deadpan or is that just?
I'm okay now.
I can't tell.
I shoved the eyeballs back in my sockets. Yeah, that was definitely an easy one.
Yeah, that just random.
So, pop quiz here. What does the word cormorant mean?
I think it's some kind of bird, like pelicans or something.
I got no idea.
That's just a guess, though.
I know that there's a transformation you can get into that character in Enter the Gungeon.
There's also the Comoros.
Is that relevant
which is
in any
an
way?
island group off of like Madagascar.
I don't know.
Yeah, cormorants are birds. Like they're known as They got like big beaks. They're seabirds, I think. Yeah.
Oh, so like a heron?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, or
kind of look like.
yeah, that's
kind of look like ducks.
that's the only thing I got here.
They're like ducks, but they can fly. Don't.
Wait, what does it mean to be like a cormorant fisherman? Looks like this Okamura's case is gonna have a happy ending.
So I guess they're.
It's like do you remember all the way back in like the first and second story arc where after we did the deed, it's just like we spent so long being like, oh, do you think it's actually gonna work and blah blah blah. It's like oh my god.
Oh, this is
just do the opposite of what's about to happen and make them talk about that for
Sorry, this is like
episodes.
a huge rabbit hole. No pun intended. I mean, it wouldn't be a very good pun if it was intended, but
no, we're talking about birds.
Looks like
completely different family, order.
Yeah, but it looks like
probably about order.
In China and Japan, they do actually use like the birds to grab fish, and then they use a snare that's tied near the base of the bird's throat, which allows the bird only to swallow small fish. That's kind of interesting.
That doesn't sound like something that is probably done commonly in like the past 100 years, though.
Yeah.
That might explain what that sort of like. So yeah, I guess when they said cormorant fisherman, that's probably what they were referring to.
Not sure what that teacher was going off about, but like because that really.
Anyway, that was a very easy question.
Yeah, it's like it seems like the hardest part about that question was that like you have to know what cormorant fishing is. Like.
Oh, and also like some of the specifics of hereditary politics in the Japanese diet. You know.
Uh-huh. I mean, it's a really stupid.
Maybe that's more commonly taught in Japan, but I mean, I feel like even in America here, it's like I wouldn't know that much like minutia about the inner workings of the United States government.
If somebody asked you like, well, who was president in 1850, we wouldn't like look at you like, oh, you're an idiot if you got it wrong. We'd be like, oh, well, you didn't do the reading like everyone else, so it's too bad that you got called out on the carpet there.
I mean, was that the reading, though? It's not like, hey, continuing the topic that we... No, you just decided to start talking about how sophomores should have their entire life figured out.
Presumably, like, this is something that was in your reading. Like, you know, like, it was on your reading list. You were expected to know it when you came to class. But they're obviously not doing that. So, I don't even know. I wonder if anyone who's, like, Japanese is watching this, who has some experience with the Japanese school system, who can confirm or deny it. Are these real questions that they would ask in a Japanese high school? Or is this ridiculously difficult and arbitrary? Like, these questions feel very ridiculous and arbitrary. The only way they would make any sense is if they were pegged to some sort of standard curriculum that we would be expected to know. Like, if you're studying comrade fishing,
high school,
that is a valid thing.
High school does have like a lot of minutia
Yes.
and trivia type of stuff that you do need to know, but I don't know if it ever gets that specific.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you do got to remember that there are also those like test sections where we can do the whole like test thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and then we should know them. We need to know them.
yeah.
Like I'm gonna get asked about that one football question and how many like checkered marks hexagons are on there.
Oh yeah.
It was 32, I think.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch a YouTube video on that, but I could have. Like before.
You could have.
Yes, and
you
that's,
could have learned so much.
well, it's a weird shape because it's not like a pure like icosahedron or something. It's got like, I think it's stellated or something, or they stretch it out a little bit and they've got like pentagons on there.
Yeah, I know it's not entirely perfect. I think that there's actually probably a lot to talk about when it comes to like regulation, balls or pucks or anything like that.
Yeah, like an oblate spheroid or your classic football.
Yeah, a hand egg, if you will.
Yes,
It'll be just like it always is.
because it's neither foot nor is it a ball.
No, you carry it in your hand and it looks like an egg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Memes.
This is the Persona-apocalypse, and we're embracing our death.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, world doesn't end with a bang, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It ends with the talking about regulation sports. Talking about regulation sports equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, again, is not even the game. I'm going to put this on the game. They started it.
You know what? If they
I'm gonna
like, you know what?
I'll be a child about this.
A good piece of trivia is something you would actually ask in a school is like, what year was the Meiji Restoration? And then somebody could be like, oh, I think it's in, is it 1858, 1868, 1878, 1888?
I
and
don't
you'd be like, that's
know
1868.
about the 1800s.
What was that?
I don't know about the 1800s that much. Only Europe and Russia.
Well, that's why it would
pretty
be a
limited.
reasonable question. It wouldn't be like, oh, okay, well, do you know this random fact about this random field? Like, oh, who knows what the tube is that extends, in your kidney?
The four-color theorem.
Yeah, like maybe
Stuff like that. Yeah, well, you're in on that train too, eh, Maruki? Somehow I'm not surprised that it was all going to come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
Are they even relevant? That's not what that says. That says, is this connected to your research?
okay.
I did not pick that because I wanted to say, is this relevant?
Mm-hmm.
That comes out so asshole-ish in English. Put it that way. Anyway.
Something tells me that Maruki's eventually going to figure out that we're part of the Phantom Thieves.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually something that, on reviewing it, since I've been going through some of the old episodes and everything, kind of compiling together all the transcripts and everything, I think that maybe what they were going for was they were trying to make the Phantom Thieves more popular so as to manipulate them, because otherwise it would be hard to get an outreach when they were just kind of targeting people at random. Like make them popular enough to get the rankings that they would actually pay attention to, but that would be like such a huge amount of effort. They could just go get the black mask guy to shoot somebody and leave a card there.
Yeah, just kill a few people. Honestly, like that would raise
and leave a card, because it's just like the Phantom Thieves don't have any sort of public outreach. It's the most it would be the most like absolutely wild, nonsensical, like ridiculous way for them to get the Phantom Thieves possible, when discrediting them is so easy considering they're completely anonymous and have no like public anything, and like it's super easy. Like they sell the cards as collector's merchandise.
Yeah.
Let's grab one of those, print out like, hey, Okumura, we're coming for you, and then just kill him like you did there. Why'd you wait for them to do the entire thing? What if Okumura actually, spilled the beans way earlier?
And
like you're just leading them to you, and then you're like, haha, we got you. Right after they were told that it's just like, yeah, we've been putting out contracts for money.
Also,
nobody would have known about that.
Also, Maruki, I just want to point out that Like, Marquis seems like he's reasonably well written, but I feel like this is not like the good enough to justify an expansion. Like, this is not amazing writing. It's like, so you spent they didn't spend a lot of time like researching to get Marquis' character. Put it that way.
That like I definitely agree. That's actually what I was just about to say. Where it's just like, I like Marquis. I think that as a character, it's just like I like him as a character. Boy, they don't know anything about psychology, do they?
Yeah. And like they clearly like they like did like the designers did like look at his office wall. He's got a lot of like little psychology looking diagrams. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's just,
I mean, they clearly,
man.
Yeah, it's
they know psychology about as well as they know medicine and politics.
Yeah.
It's, oh boy, and the Yakuza, as we're about to see.
And the thing is, it's not even like an adolescent thing. It's not like, oh wow, this is really unperceptive, but it's like from an adolescent perspective, maybe it's like, okay, that's kind of deep. It's like it's at least a good effort. It's like it just feels like they really wanted to make a game about everything, and then they didn't have the chops to pull it off.
I mean, well, that's been an observation we've had for like 40 episodes now or so, where it's like they never had the skills to try and tackle whatever the hell they wanted to do with like the Phantom Thieves and their impact on society. They wanted to say something. Yeah. But I got no fucking idea, dude.
I mean, and again, like
something about I said before that it's just like I think what they were going for was see something, say something, but then it's like we had the Yoshida thing with like, hey, everybody respected me for staying quiet all these years. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, what are you even trying to do in this game? It's like, it's not like a Law and Order thing. It's not like a considering the impact, on the impact of justice on like lives of criminals, or like trying to humanize, the people who are evil and show how they can change and be reformed.
Yeah, and it's not Kafka-esque either in the interpersonal, like Old Testament kind of sin kind of way, like sin and absurdity
guilt
kind of thing, or guilt, exactly, thank you, or like in the Kafkaesque sense of just like this absurd society. I don't feel like they're doing either of those things well, but they're also not doing anything else. Like what are they offering us? Like, it's moralistic, but it's not like engaging with the heroes or the villains. The villains
it's moralistic against straw men.
Yeah, it's like if evil were just people like the people that the Phantom Thieves go after, then the world would be a lot simpler. The problem is that even the most evil corporate owner has like a philanthropy side. You know what I mean? Like, they're at least pretending to be good people. Like, same with all politicians. Like, it's rare that you get somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm Wario. I'm Wario in private.
Some of them
are scumbags, but it's like they're also like they pretend to give charity and stuff, and it just feels like they didn't even.
They appeal to people. Like we've talked about this with so many of the villains that it's just like, nobody likes these people. Yeah. Everybody hates these people except for maybe like one person. Yeah. And then the second that everybody finds out about it, they're like, that guy was a piece of shit anyway.
Yeah. And at least, like, I mean, I don't like Elon Musk at all, but, like, you have to admit, like, people do, like, think he's the smartest person since Einstein or whatever. And it's like, they're wrong, but it's not like, I can kind of see that. He's presenting himself as an inventor, this innovator. He's got all these big ideas and stuff. It's like, you'd be forgiven for thinking that. Like, thinking that he's actually smart. He's not, but, like, in this game, it's just like they just make him the most absurd kind of villain and just indefensible person, always doing indefensible shit all the time with no redeeming or even charming or charismatic elements. It's like, that's just not realistic.
Yeah, that was something I remember being very surprised about with the with Kamoshida, that it's just like, he was, in fact, a talented volleyball player.
Yeah.
Which is impressive because they took everything away from like Madarame in the next story arc.
Yeah.
He wasn't even an artist.
They couldn't
he just
even,
stole everything.
They couldn't give him that he's an artist. And it's not like there's a shortage of great artists who are terrible people. Like there's not like there's a shortage of great sports like athletes who are who are terrible people. Like it's not hard to just give them that they're talented.
Politicians or businessmen or anything like that. People have layers, but it's just that's never and for a game that again is so like every single aspect of the dungeons are based entirely around like the personality and like the events that led the villain to who they are today. It's just like they have no depth.
Yeah, they're so morally didactic. It's like, okay, gotta make sure that we teach you that these people are bad. They're exactly like the teachers in the classes, like asking you this obscure trivia. Is this a bad person? Like it's like this irrelevant piece of. Yes, of course they're a bad person. How could you not know that? Like we don't.
Yeah, and that's why it's just like. Should have stuck with just like a cosmic evil or something like they did back in Persona 3. You know what's good about cosmic evil? They're just evil.
Yeah.
There you go, that's it.
Yeah, it's like D&D.
It's simple, and that's where you can play to your strengths, where it's just like, yeah, you're opposing these guys, and you can show the character, the journey of the characters, opposing just a big evil thing that's evil.
Yeah. Instead, I mean, it's like, yeah, as you're saying, like, they don't really know much about politics, and yet their game, like, inevitably centers around it. Like, it's impossible for them to make a game where top elites in society are actually evil without saying something about politics, but they don't have anything to say. And so they're just left trying to
and politics as it exists is just like totally like what was Yoshida's platform on anything?
Yeah.
Law and Order, I suppose, sort of thing. He was heavy into like pursuing justice against wrongdoers, but it's like it was all in such an incredibly vague way.
Yeah, everything he said felt like a sample speech that you'd find in like a composition 101 textbook. Like, here's an example of rhetoric.
And well, anyway, once again, oh man. Once again, I'm dying because we're playing Persona and I'm choking on it or something. But once again, it's just like Yoshizawa is responsible entirely for the future of the school's reputation and apparently like the jobs of everybody involved in everything. Once again, there are supposed to be hundreds of people that go to this school.
Yeah.
It's like it never feels like that. It's like when you have scenes like this where Yoshizawa is taken aside and like put it. I guess we can't physically abuse our students anymore, so now we just need to emotionally do it. Oh boy!
And
it's the one person. It all comes down to one person. Also, Marky is also here again for some reason.
Yeah, he feels very arbitrary. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't know if it was. Yeah.
I mean, they brought him in there previously because it's just like, the Maruki is apparently buds with Yoshizawa, but it's also like, why is he here now?
Yeah, it just feels like is he? Is this in the teacher's
We are
zone?
running a charity, which is why we still have main character here.
Honestly, this is reasonably realistic, and just because of the stage play thing, it's like it's unnatural to have him just standing there randomly. It doesn't.
I don't know. It's like it's realistic to an extent, but it's also like, come the fuck on. It's one person.
Yeah, and you just
it's one teenager. It's like if you're like you're relying the future of like the school, your own job, everything like that on a single teenager. It's like, well, that's your own damn fault.
Yeah.
And now it's up to Yoshizawa to solve it. It's like whatever.
Actually, I would say that is pretty realistic if you look at like the NCAA Like, just
not you know, that's the entire thing where it's just like I want to criticize it, but well, let's be honest with ourselves here. There are some things that I once like there's some things in this game that I always want to be like, oh, this is so unrealistic and stupid, but then I think about like actual events and I'm like, oh, right.
This is like I feel like a lot of these teachers have a lot of character, but they're never explored. It's just like flavor text, and it's just not like.
In some ways, I like that because you know I like having side characters have a lot of personality, but you know that's the whole thing with Persona, where it's just like everybody's just kind of an asshole that isn't one of the main characters or like one of the social.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's like well written, like in the sense that like these questions are stupid, and then they don't go the extra mile. They don't make like the main characters interesting either. It's like you can have a silent protagonist. That's not like the worst thing in the world. It's a choice, but like. If you're gonna make the side characters like have this flavor, and then the main characters be like, well, what are we gonna do about Haru or whatever? Who cares?
Oh boy! Once again, it's just like the entire thing with Haru was that we were saving her from Haru's fiance.
Yeah. Well, what about Haru's fiance? We're getting.
Maybe we will. I can only hope that something happens.
Otherwise, it's like it's even worse than the last saga, where.
No. I will not say that.
Okay.
There's no way. We cannot ignore the fact that the world-class hacker who started the group that is currently targeting the Phantom Thieves is also currently being taken care of by the same foster parent 20 meters away from you at all points in time.
And she can be taken out, and she can take out the entire organization with a push of the button, basically. And your whole organization was being set up by the main villain. Yeah, okay, yeah, no.
Oh, I mean, and once, man, it's just... Maybe this next story arc is going to be the one where the Phantom Thieves can finally, like, you know, make a choice on their own and not be forced or bullied by the internet into doing something.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this...
Spoiler! No.
The last palace makes this one look like crime and punishment.
That is not true.
No, it's not true.
None of this is true. It's all bad. The Persona Apocalypse starts out with one of the, like, I hate Persona episodes.
Well, they're all going to be I hate Persona episodes. That's the series.
We can't get away from it. Well, I mean, it wasn't the series right up until about, like, episode 30.
Extremely.
And then I finally embraced my absolute frustration with it. Where it's just like, at first, you know, I was hopeful, I was optimistic, and then I was just like, well, I don't want to be too down on it. There's still a lot of stuff I like. And now I'm just like, nah, fuck this.
No, and you know, I was thinking about it, like, this stage play thing isn't that bad if it's like in Danganronpa or in Zero Escape. Because those don't have too much repetition. I mean, yes, there are a lot of conversations in like the cafeteria and other common places, but it's not like there's not like 100 conversations like that. There's like 20 or 30. And anime cutscene.
Oh yeah, anime cutscene, baby.
Like the stage
where Morgana's looking great.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, he looks so good.
Yeah. Oh, this is by the way, this is new content for the Royal.
Yes, this is the Royal content. Yeah, you didn't think we'd be getting this so quickly, did you?
Wow.
That's right. We're going into another palace.
Oh, wow.
I know, and it only took like one episode since the that's going to be a thumbnail. And it looks pretty cool, too.
Yeah, this is pretty nice.
Well, it reminds you a lot of the polyhedron from Pathologic for a reference we all can enjoy. But, you know. I don't know. Maybe you know about that one.
I think I do. It kind of looks like a tesseract, like just kind of like you know, a four-dimensional object kind of thing.
Yep, that's where all the orphans live. No shit.
Even little orphan Annie?
Yeah, well, presumably. I mean, I would hope so, considering what happens in the rest of the town. I gotta play the rest of that game.
Where?
Yeah, no, we get it. Yeah, and that's all cool and everything, but we'll get to doing that next time. Well, in 20 seconds, I guess. I actually did, leave at least, let's see what the start of the Patless looks like.
Part 1 of the Personacalypse. Hooray! Part 2 comes out tomorrow.
That is the excitement that I was hoping for.
I'm not really excited. That was disingenuous.
Oh.